first try. How is everybody doing? Getting my stuff out. Got some cool stuff, guys. Got some cool stuff going on. What is everybody doing? Do. All right. Let's see. Do. Got people in already. Yeah, Michael, how you doing? Scarlett, how you doing? Oh, I got some cool stuff, guys. I haven't been this excited to create content for you guys in a while. Like I was this excited when the whole after action review stuff was taken off, and then I was this excited when I first started doing these live streams, and then obviously it kind of wanes and stuff. You can tell, you know, I was live streaming almost every day, and then I was doing the after action. You could tell, like, when I get excited about something, I pretty much do it every day. Oh, I'm sorry, guys, I don't have my hat on. Sorry, I'm gonna get yelled at. There we go. I think that looks better. But I get super excited about doing these things, and I'm excited again. I got the After the Ride podcast really taking off. I got all the clips, so if you guys want to watch the whole podcast, I have After the Ride channel. It has all the clips, so I took out all the good stuff, and I made them in short little bite-sized chunks for you guys on the After the Ride channel. And I just had a chat with Yammy Noob for the first podcast, first one with a guest. So he was my very first guest, so that's awesome. Super excited about the fact that he decided to basically help out the channel. You know, he helped out the channel. It was eye-opening on my end to, hey, Moikas29 just subscribed. It was like you get to see a different part, like a different person. You see and I'm using him as an example, and I'll use me as an example too. Damn, Scarlett, 12 hours into a 33-hour shift. Damn. Like my live streams, like what I'm doing now with you guys, it's like you guys get to see who I am, right? You guys get to talk with me. This is not how I talk during my videos, and I'm joking with you guys, and I got to see that from Yammy. I got to see it from Yammy Noob, and I'm super excited to possibly have a chat with, and that's all it is a chat. It's not an interview. I'm not doing interviews, guys. I mean, I'll get your guys' questions, and I'll try to make it come in organically and stuff, so you guys can get basically your answers. But I'm excited to interview or to chat with like industry professionals, different instructors, different YouTube personalities, and just get to know the person behind the whole thing. So super excited about that. What's up, Fast Eddie? Yeah, it'd be cool to have him on too. That'd be cool. I don't know what you guys are saying. So anyways, let's see. What's the haps? RG and H? Not much, man. I'm just super excited. Just a guy. What's up, people? Yo, Willet, how you doing? James Wiley, Dad and Mad. Is that a new name? Dad and Mad? Is that a new name, man? Did you change your name? I don't remember that. But you've been around for what, 2 months? Maybe I just haven't seen your name in the chat for a while. I don't know. What you doing, man? James Wiley, always good to see you, man. I see your comments all the time. You got a beard, though. I remember you had a mustache for a while. Dan the Motorman. What's up, James? So we're going to jump into, so this is what we're looking at. So this was last week's video that it died on us. So we're going to pick up right where we left off. Oh, just haven't been able to make it live for a while. Okay. I was going to say, it's like I recognize all the beards in the chat. I usually recognize them. That's my bad then. That's my bad. But, yeah, I'm super excited, guys. The After the Ride channel is going to take off. The LS7 motorcycle. No. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that together. So, LS7 motorcycle. Is this thing? Oh yeah, dude. I remember when Do It With Dan talked about it. He saw it. Yeah, Do It With Dan. This is his video. That thing looks insane. Need a shave. Yeah, I remember seeing that video. I would love to have Do It With Dan on. You guys think having Do It With Dan on the podcast would be something fun? He's been really supportive of the channel too. But I think it'd be fun to talk with him. 2 Dans talking with each other. Walterific would be fun. Moto Nasi, Chase on 2 Wheels. Cycle Cruiser. MC Rider, Moto Jitsu. I'm just throwing Photogrammer, Dank Wheelie. Who else? Who else? Who else should we get? Who else should we get? Like to get Shoei Helmets on board. Maybe RoadWrangler, talking to somebody from RoadWrangler, something like that. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Somebody from the MSF, like high up, see where they come from. James, we got Yammy on already. We got Yammy already. He was a great sport, man. If you missed that, oh yeah, Blockhead. Will at 799. Max Wrist. I heard some stuff about him that I won't be having that guy. Won't be having that guy on the podcast. I would rather not associate myself with that. What's up, Matt? How you doing? Maybe it got lost in my emails, man. Maybe it got lost in my emails. Dad Mad. Send it again if you can. Sorry, man. So I get like 30 emails a day just on that one email, and then I get, my personal email and all that other stuff. Yeah, there's some things I didn't want to bring it up, and I'm not one to talk about it, but I won't be doing a Max Wrist anything forever. So there's just some his history that I don't want to associate myself with. Oh yeah, let's get to 500 patrons, boys. So with the whole Patreon thing, I want you guys to understand that I created a new perk for that. So I have right now next week's podcast on Patreon. Right now. So if you want to see next week's podcast, it's with a motorcycle mechanic. He answers a ton of questions. He talks about carbureted bikes. He talks about, your batteries, your tires. He talks about why he does what he does. And think of me as like the guy that is focused on motorcycle safety, like the person. He's focused on motorcycle safety, the bike. So this is a great thing. Ride like a pro. Let me write that down. I'm going to write that down real quick. I've been writing down. I have a list of people. I asked the Discord who I should talk to. So RoadWrangler, Sub D, Blockhead, Vance and Hines, Yamaha Champ School, or other instructors, other countries' instructors, Motorcycle Cops, Fort 9, Gasworks Garage, SRK Cycles, or Bikes and Beards, Moto Nasty, Photogrammer, Walterific, Great Egret, Canyon Chasers, Dusty Coyote from Instagram, and Dank Wheelie. That's what I have right now. I'm going to add Ride Like a Pro. Ride Like a Pro. Jerry Palladino. Yeah, I want to make a manual for the MSF and collaborate with them. I think that'd be pretty cool. Stan the Moto Man? Okay. Stan the Moto Man. Moto Jitsu, of course, man. Since we buried that very small hatchet, we just buried that very small one. I like where his head is at, and I definitely would love to have a chat with Moto Jitsu on the podcast. I think that'd be cool. Let's go. Anyway, we're gonna do like because I'm gonna do a live stream on Thursday. I'll do a live stream on Thursday also, same time. So I mean, we got some good questions in the chat, guys. Let's do some questions here. So Matt Miller says, I saw a video of yours saying that bikes that use belt drives are better than chain driven. That the Rebel uses a chain. Is it that much of a thing to be aware of? So when I talked about belt versus chain, it's not necessarily it's better. Like it's a better thing. Only get belt driven. No, chain. I have a chain on my FTR and I have a chain on the Rebel, and that's just the way it is. Chains have pros and cons. So do belts have pros and cons. Belts, they last a long time and they're maintenance free. So that is really good for new riders. A chain, if it's not well taken care of, won't last as long. And there's constant maintenance that you're having to do. You're having to clean it. You're having to degrease it. You're having to clean it. You're having to re-lube it. You're having to tighten it. You're having to move things. You're having to do this. You're having to do that. So but you get more power. Supposedly you get more power out of it. You can send more power to the chain versus a belt. So I mean, there's different things out there. So definitely a belt is easier for a new rider. So if you're a brand spanking new, it's not going to be it should not be a decision like, well, I'm only going to get a belt driven because I'm new. It should not be that. It should just be like, okay, it's a belt driven and it's my first bike. Awesome. I don't have to worry too much about it. If it's like, oh, I really like this bike, but it has a chain and I'm a new, and it's like, is that a deciding factor? It should not be a deciding factor. It really shouldn't. Chain versus belt should not be a deciding factor on a bike. Just be aware that you're going to have to take care of it. So just be aware you're going to have to take care of it. Yeah, and you do have some really smooth clutch work with the belt too. I've noticed that. And they are quieter. They definitely are. Belts are quieter. Lucky Luke is growing channel. He's from Ireland. His videos are always enjoyable. Cole, I'm going to write that down. Because here's the thing, guys. What I want from the podcast is I want to talk to somebody that has their own unique experiences. You know what I mean? So, like, let's take my channel as an example. And this is something that I've been talking about for a long time here, is that I believe somebody with past experiences, like for me as a firefighter EMT, bringing that into the motorcycle community has a unique perspective on the motorcycle community. So I have this unique perspective. I've seen accidents, I've seen fatalities, I've seen the worst of the worst, and I know how important that is when it comes to motorcycle safety for the human. So this is why I absolutely love talking to Scott, the motorcycle mechanic, is that he comes from a position of motorcycle maintenance, but he is hyper focused on keeping you safe. So he's doing his best to keep the motorcycle in tip-top shape so that it doesn't break down on you in mid-turn, mid-anything, and he wants to keep you safe. So his perspective is motorcycle maintenance. My perspective is life safety. Who else? I mean, Yami Noob's coming from a top creator, so what he sees when it comes to motorcycle riders, what they like, what they want to watch, how they interact. So he's got a bigger audience, so he brought that to me. He brought the unique experience of 25. Guys, did you know he did 25 plus track days? He did 27, I think. 27 track days. It might be 28 now. And he's learned a lot. And I've not done a track day. You know, I've not. I focus mainly on street, but I'm super excited to hear what he learned from track day. And he said vision is is the biggest thing. Going fast is not. Vision is the biggest thing, and that's what I've always been talking about. So he has a unique perspective. So I want to grab people with unique perspectives, even if it's a small thing. You know, somebody that does vinyl wrapping on a motorcycle. I don't know how to do that, and I'm pretty sure you guys would like to know if it's worthwhile, right? You know, vinyl wrapping versus painting. That's easily a good question to ask these guys. Stuff like that. I'm really interested in that. I want to learn personally, and then if I'm learning, hopefully you guys are learning too. So let me scroll up just a little bit. So let's see. Connor Brill. So yeah, if you don't get very far in the podcast, just remember I do have it on the After the Ride channel in highlight form. So you can actually, I have 10 clips of my interview, or my interview, the podcast with Yami Noob, where we go over specific topics, so you can eat them in bite-sized chunks, and it's in a playlist. So check out the After the Ride channel. It's a little extra work for me, but I know you guys are gonna love it. So let's see. Matt Miller. So I'm right here. I saw a video of yours saying that bikes that use. Oh, we already did that one. Okay, let's see. Jerry Palladino's class isn't. Yeah, I would love to. He does some amazing slow speed, huge bike work. Amazing. I absolutely want to visit him. What happened in Moto-Jitsu, if I don't mind talking about it. So I talked about it a little bit during the podcast, but at the end of the day, what happened was that behind the scenes, there was some just a little bit. I didn't like how he said something to me, and he didn't like how something I said, and it just kind of blew up. Okay, it was all misunderstanding. I just didn't like it, so I pushed myself away from that type of negativity. And then recently, not recently, like now, but like over a month ago, he sent me another message, and I guess we made up. You know, it wasn't even that big of a deal. It's just I separate myself from things like that. I've never said anything bad about him, and he is an expert rider. He's way better rider than I am, and he's got an amazing set of books and things that you can learn from. And both our goals are to maintain safe riders, and I'm going to keep telling people to go to him. So there's no beef. There's nothing right now. Okay. So he's a great guy, man. So Lucy Luke is growing channels from Ireland. His videos are always enjoyable. So I wrote that down. Or Lucky Luke. Is it Lucky Luke? Yeah, Lucky Luke. Okay. Motor Police Squidding. James Janota, how so? Are you talking about like their half helmets, 3/4 helmets, no gear, basically? I'm a little concerned about that too. I don't have an opinion on the Lightning LS218. I heard you mention on FDB podcast, 5 Dirty Bikers. Okay, that you'd got the UK Police Riding Handbook Roadcraft. Have you read it yet? And how did you find it? I once got it and read it. I got it from somebody sent it to me. So that's one of the cool things about you guys is that you guys send me some really cool things. I was sent this book, Conduct Becoming a Man, by one of you guys, and I got a personal letter in it. Really cool. So thank you, Jeff Allen Hood, for sending that to me. But somebody sent it to me. I forgot exactly who. I believe it's Simon that sent it to me from the Discord, and I've learned a lot from it. It's basically all situational awareness. It's really good. I mean, with some skills too. Yeah. Let's see. We're gonna answer a few more, and then we're gonna jump into the actual stream part. Okay. What cruises would you suggest that have a belt drive that are good for beginners? So Harleys basically have all belt driven bikes, but that should not be the end all be all. I believe the Yamaha Bolt has one, but at the end of the day, don't worry too much about that. Honda Shadows have that. What do I think of 6'4" Honda? I think he's more so a video game guy now, less so of moto stuff. And at the end of the day, you know, I'll have to look more into him. Royal Jordanian. Let's see if I can get him on. I think that'd be kind of cool. Let's see. Let me go ahead and write that down. Royal Jordanian. Okay. Let's see. What's your opinion on Husqvarna? Is it reliable for a new rider? Husqvarna, that's like getting an import, and if something does happen, it's gonna be a little bit more expensive when it comes to replacing or getting service. So I'd stick with the main bikes like Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, and then the American-made stuff for now. I don't know too much about Husqvarna though when it comes to that. Craig Glass, just checking in while I get a haircut. Any advice from Arizona riding around 20 degrees or below? Should I assume all wet areas could be black ice? Yes. Craig, yes, definitely assume all wet areas could be black ice in 20 degrees or below, especially on the bridges. Now, there's like a special, like bridges have different heat capacities versus asphalt, and you're more than likely going to find ice on the bridges, and that's why they have those signs there. SRK Cycles, yeah, I definitely would like to get them. I got that written down. The Missidon Flyer, yeah, he's a crazy guy. Okay. Mr. Fish. Okay. Let's see. Vulcan S, dude. Vulcan S would be a good bike. If you want a good bike, get the Vulcan S. Definitely recommend that. All right, we're going to jump into this, guys. I resent the link to that close call to your email. Okay, so I got that right now then. I got it, John. I think I got it. Awesome. All right. How many feet from the entrance do you place the obstacle for the swerve practice? I would have to look that up, but roughly 15 feet. 12 to 15 feet. I would start off 15 to 20 feet for your first try. And then if it's too easy, then start moving it up a little bit. Don't increase the speed. Just move it up a little bit. And once it gets super easy at like low speed, short distance, then move it back to 20 feet and then increase your speed a little bit more. Okay? So we're going to jump into this, guys. I just want to say thank you once again, though, to my patrons for making this possible. So if you'd like to become a patron, please do so. It does help out the channel. And you get to see my podcast 1 week early. Okay? Right now, next Monday's podcast is up on Patreon. Okay, next week's podcast is up on Patreon right now. So if you would like to support the channel and see content early, then check it out. It will come out Monday though if you don't want to join Patreon. Okay. Those statistics don't necessarily include moto cops for the most part. I think they do because of registered users on the road Dodger, but more than likely, it doesn't really include. It's such a small percentage. I mean, motorcycle cops is still, it's a small percentage of the actual department, and then it's also now a small percentage of the actual road users. All right, here we go, guys. Let's watch this one.
Similar situation, but the biker had no chance to react.
Ooh. Hey. Is that a rebel? Yeah. That's a... This is a rebel. This is a Honda Rebel. It's the same... I think it might be the same one as my wife's. Yeah, it's a Honda Rebel. Hey, guys. Well, there you go. It's a Honda Rebel. Honda Rebel can run over a ladder. Yep. Let's see. So right here. So right away, you guys even pointed it out. Right away, you pointed it out. Lane, good lord, following distance, bros. Exactly. Guys, following distance is huge. Being impatient or not paying attention to the road traffic could easily close that gap that you have. So we need to be aware of following distance. Following distance is huge. And it's not just because, well, then, you know, if somebody stops and slams the brakes, I'll be able to stop in time. That's one really big thing. But here's the thing is when you have good following distance, especially a large one, you have really good vision. When you have good vision, you can see objects and obstacles or anything that could be in your path of travel sooner. If you see it sooner, you have better reaction time. If you have better reaction time, you're going to have more time to make a judgment call. And when you have more time to make a judgment call, you give yourself more options. So that's why I keep saying, everybody, is that when you have a good vision and line of sight, that is the first step. That is the absolute first step. If you don't have that, it doesn't matter if you have great swerving or braking. It doesn't matter. So we're going to watch it one more time. We're going to watch it one more time.
It's a very similar situation, but the biker had no chance to react.
That was very close. Look at the impact. As soon as he impacts it, look at the handlebars. I'm going to try to get it to right. So that's what he hit. See how the... you could barely see it. I could have swore I saw it better. So his handlebars shook really hard. If he landed that wrong, could have easily dropped the bike. So the narrator says didn't have enough time to react.
Very similar.
Oh, Matt, easily you could bend a rim. Easily bend a rim. And if you bend that rim or crack it and you lose air, especially on that front tire, it might not be a problem in the first mile after this hit, but on the way home, especially at interstate speeds, you lose that air pressure and that air in that front tire. You could easily dump that bike. Easily. Awesome, Lucas. Well, awesome that you're here. Awesome that you're here. This is going to help you in driving also, guys. This will help you in driving, is that if you notice these little clues. So what clue, guys, did you guys pick up? What clue? Oh, let's go ahead and go back just a little bit. So what clue did you guys pick up? So lane right here, do you think position 3 is better here? Usually do position 3 in this lane to have the shoulder for escape. So lane position 3 could be something you could use. So lane position 3 or lane position 1 right here is fine. Okay, so it's really up to you. If you feel more comfortable in lane position 3 so you have an escape path to the right, then do so. But if you're in lane position 1 right here, like this person is, you have an escape path to the left, and if you swerve hard enough, you got it to the right. So you got 2 in that case. So typically I'd be in this position just because that's what I'm comfortable with. He has very good line of sight, so you can see pretty far ahead, and that's really good here. But we start to have some issues with how close we are. Okay, so brake lights, traffic slowing. Okay, lots of cars braking, very good. The car swerving, maybe good. So how you doing, Firefly? How you doing? How you doing? Taillights, car swerve. Yes, guys. So these are all like, we should be, if we're this close to the car in front of us, we should be in orange mode. If you want to have it to where, or orange stage, if you want to have it to where you're relaxed and zoned in and not worried about too much at that point, increase that space cushion and then you can sit in yellow stage. Okay, but right now we have to be in orange stage because we just can't, we have no reaction time. Or, yeah, we have decent perception, hopefully, but we don't have a big gap to really stop us in time for a lot of these things.
A very similar situation, but the biker had no chance to react.
Okay, so this is about the moment we should be paying attention. So we have brake lights. That should grab our attention. And when we're riding or driving, it's grabbing our... What's up, Christian? How you doing? It should be grabbing our attention right there. It's like, why is that car applying the brakes? If we look even closer, you don't see any shadows in front of that vehicle. So you should know from your situational awareness, 360 degree, bird's eye view, however you want to call it, you should understand it's like, okay, well, this guy's applying the brakes for some weird reason. Is he trying to swerve into our lane? Is he trying to do something? And if he is, then that means it's going to cascade back to us that these people are going to apply brakes, which means we're going to have to apply the brakes. So why is this guy moving over? You can kind of see above the car. This guy just moved over. This guy applied the brakes. Something bad is about to happen. And more than likely, it's going to be in this guy's path of travel. What's up, Hayes? How you doing? More than likely, it's going to be in your path of travel in this lane. In this situation, before I let that thing come to me, this should be that clue, and it should be obvious at this point that something is wrong, something is in the path of travel. Get out of the way. Go. Get into the next lane. You can see. Go to where you can see. You can see that there's nothing on the ground, nothing over here other than brake lights. So I would move over, not swerve. I would move over to lane position 3 of this middle lane and just kind of sit there and slow down. I won't accelerate. I won't do nothing. I'm just going to get out of the way. Because who knows, maybe this car driver is going to swerve into my lane or to the right. It doesn't matter. Right now, it's just some weird situation of something bad is happening. See you later, Matt. Very bad. Yeah, the shoulder is appealing too. So you have two escape paths. You have to the left and to the right. But what we should not be doing in this situation is staying behind this vehicle. Now, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal if we already had a massive space cushion. That's where it's very important to have that space cushion, because you're not having to swerve left or right to avoid an object. You're just waiting for this person in front of you that's a couple, like maybe 100 feet in front of you, decided to run it over, and now it's out of your way. Now you have this big space gap and you see the ladder way ahead of you. It's like, okay, now I'll just kind of stay within my lane and move out of the way. You know what I mean? So having that space cushion is really important. So now, do you have enough time to react? Do you guys practice your interstate speed swerves? Do you guys practice swerving in a parking lot at about 65 miles per hour? I'm wondering if any of you guys practice swerving at 65 miles per hour. I know how to do it. I don't practice it. I mean, the only time I can practice is when I'm on the interstate and I pretend there's something in my way and I'll just move from one position to the next. Yeah, not a lot of people practice their 65 miles per hour swerves, and there's a reason for that. It's highly dangerous. It's dangerous. Yeah, there's no parking lots that big, so there's no real safe closed course area that you can practice. So the only time you can practice it is when you're on the interstate and maybe like you'll pretend that something's there, so you move from lane position 2 to 3 or from 2 to the next lane, but in lane position 1. So all these different things. So that's what I do, but it's not going to give you the real world at all. Like right here, there's no way. There's no way. You're going to run it over or clip it. So this is why having that following distance is very important. This is why having that following distance is very important, so that you don't have to do a swerve at interstate speeds. And you also don't have to apply threshold braking at interstate speeds. It's best to set yourself in a position of safety at all times on the interstate. And that really includes having a good space cushion and then lane positioning in a way to where if you absolutely had to, you could just go straight and not hit something. So if you're in lane position 3 over here and something happened, all you had to do is move over like half a foot, 6 inches to the right, you're on the shoulder, and boom, you're out of the way. Same thing if you're riding the line over here, you move over 6 to 12 inches to the left, you're in a completely different lane, and you're out of the way. This is why you shouldn't be this close, okay?
Hey.
So after something like that happens, pull off. So if you hit a big object like that, which really makes you have that pucker factor, if you really have to, move off, double check your equipment. Double check your front tire, double check your rear tire, double check your rims really good on the front or whatever tire hit. Do both. Do both tires, do both rims. After you do that, double check your undercarriage. Double check. Make sure it didn't pop back up and hit something. Make sure it didn't clip any wires. Make sure it didn't clip a hose line. Katrina! Katrina. I'm going to replay that. I'm replaying it. Katrina. Thank you so much. I hope you've been doing well. I've missed you too. Missed you too. We need you back. Are you in the Discord still? We need you back in there if you're not. But dang, does it show that you donated? That's awesome. Right, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So this is the Discord. So it shows right here. Hey everyone, just donated to the stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I call everybody bras. What's up, bruh? So thank you so much. I'll let Nikki know. Thank you. And it shows right here. Look, top donator once again. Latest super chat. Top donator of the month. And then the latest YouTube member right there. Yeah, I bet you life's gotten insane because you used to be chatting all day, every day. I can tell. Life's gotten insane. That sucks. I'm sorry. Well, hopefully it's good insane. That brings me to my next point, and we'll watch this one. Is you notice how there's like an empty space on the bottom right of the screen? I'm going to be asking my patrons what they would like to have right there. Okay, the Patreon count, it's been glitchy. It's been really glitchy. So we're probably not going to do Patreon count. But I'm going to ask them what they want. Maybe we'll do the patron pictures once again. Maybe we'll do the patron pictures again. So we'll see. We'll see.
For what? Yeah. Dude, oh my God. Yeah, we're good. Oh. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one more time. I missed the impact because I was looking at the chat.
Dude, oh my God.
Yeah, that was a dumb move. It was possibly a mistake of inattentional blindness where your main concern is to get off on the side of the road. You didn't see the curb. It's an honest mistake. I'm pretty sure it was an honest mistake. But we can't be making honest mistakes like that. We really can't. We can make dumb trip, like we can trip ourselves while walking and be like, oh, you know what, a big whoop as young adults. As an older person, and I'm just equating this, guys. Okay, we're not here to talk bad, you know. But I do like, Sean, I like the kill the engine before picking it up by the grips. And that's a good point, and we'll jump into that. So, I mean, as elderly adults, tripping is an honest mistake, but it's a very costly mistake. tripping as a young adult or a kid, scraping a knee, it's an honest mistake, but it doesn't have great consequences. Honest mistakes, bad, like these types of things on a motorcycle is like tripping and falling as an elderly person. It can or cannot have very life-altering like problems. So this one right here, okay, so this right here is an honest mistake. Probably thought that this curb went from here to here, thinking that it's going to reduce in incline, and he's able to get up on it, which not thinking, possibly after a long ride, not thinking. So inattentional blindness as a motorcycle rider right here. But that mistake could have some problems. Rasa Wood just turned 15. I want to know my first steps to getting my permit as soon as I can. I just want to do as much as I can before I turn 15 and a half. Thanks. So Rasa, keep watching these videos because you don't have any driving experience like at all. So legally, so picking out situational awareness stuff is going to be massive, dude. Go to take an MSF class, get the BRC1. That will teach you a ton of physical skills. Keep practicing those physical skills. But right now, you could easily get some good information through these after-action reviews where we go over situational awareness. Read about situational awareness like crazy. And I'm sure you've ridden a bicycle around the neighborhood or whatever, and you notice like, oh, I got to dodge like this rock. That right there is low-speed stuff. Add about 30 to 50 to 60 to 70 miles per hour to that and see if you could still do it. So that's the whole situational awareness thing. So I just had to... We got a 15-year-old, guys. We got a 15-year-old in here. Let's set him up straight for some safe life motorcycling, okay? That's what we should do here, guys. If you could be a mentor to anybody and you know anybody that's young, get them going the right way. Get them going the right way. That's the only way we can, keep this motorcycling stuff and reduce those fatalities. T and Vol Fisher, thanks, man. Love the latest podcast with Yami, dude. I had a lot of fun. He's a great guy. I got some news that I can't share right away about Yami, but there's some cool things if you live in Arizona. So let's go back. How long is too long for riding before you get too tired or cognitive clarity? It all depends on your sleep. It all depends on how you feel. If you're distracted by work stress, somebody yelled at you at work, or you're yelling with your significant other, having an argument, your cognitive clarity can get reduced. Same thing of how hydrated you are, if it's cold out, if it's hot out. If it gets to the point where you realize, like in the last 5 minutes, you're like, how the heck did I get here? And that happens a lot in a car, then you should pull off and relax a little bit, or get yourself back in that mode and get hyped up to get back into zoning in. So I got to the whole honest mistakes, small mistakes lead to big consequences on a motorcycle. This right here is exactly why. So easily broken ankles. Right here, you easily have a broken ankle. If we move forward just a little bit, so you see how the ankles are twisted? So you plant your ankle into the ground, and the momentum of the bike and the momentum of you dropping, the gravity could easily snap that ankle. Okay? Easily snap your ankle. Luckily, she probably has a sprained ankle, but she jumps it a little bit. Okay, so now you got right hip impact. So this is why having moto jeans is very important. Her right hand went down, and then boom, back of the head. So thankfully she had a helmet. Awesome, Spencer. I'm glad you think so. So back of the head impact. Now you're gonna have that coup contra coup. Okay, so Scarlett, you know what I'm talking about if you're still here. Coup contra coup. So your head basically hits one side of your brain or your skull. I'm sorry, your brain hits one side of your skull, and then it bounces to the front or the back with the opposite end, and you're going to have another brain injury. So you could possibly have contusions on both sides of your brain just from hitting one side. Awesome, thank you. Now, you got a long shift, I forgot. So easily could have injuries to the passenger. The motorcycle rider could easily have a sprained ankle, didn't fall. At a small situation like this, what I would do is make sure that my passenger, if I made this mistake, I'd make sure my passenger is fine. I'd say, go ahead and stay seated. I'm going to pick up the bike since I'm fine. I'm going to pick up the bike, turn it off, and then I'm going to talk to my wife, because she's going to be the only passenger I'm going to have. I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to ask her, just based off of mechanism of injury, I'm going to know she's going to put her foot down. I'm going to know she had a tumble, and I understand in how it happened, what possible injuries could happen. So I'm going to do a quick check before I have her get up, because a lot of times the adrenaline could be rushing, and we pop her up like they're about to do right here. And who knows, she could have snapped some ligaments and tendons in her ankle, and as soon as she stands up, it slides out from underneath her, has no structural stability, and she dumps it again. She falls again, possibly now if it hits her elbows, hits her wrist, hits her head again. Now we have more issues. So I'm going to let her sit. I'm going to take a quick look. I'm going to ask her if there's any pain. I'm going to go through the whole rapid trauma assessment. And it doesn't take forever. I'm not sitting here on the side of the road for 10-20 minutes. I'm going to just do a quick like 30 seconds to 1 minute check on my wife, or whoever this is, if I roll up on somebody, and be like, okay, this is what's happening. You also notice right here, these dudes, they don't have a lot of protection themselves, and the rider that dropped the bike has a bunch of work on his bike. It's a stunt bike. He's got a bunch of protection for the bike. There's no protection for him and his girlfriend, other than helmets. You also notice there's no protection for this woman in the silver helmet, in the red or maroon backpack, wearing leggings and Nikes, and then a helmet. Guys, this is not enough gear. This is not enough gear. We're spending thousands on our bikes. We're spending more, like probably more than a couple thousand on the actual bike for protection. You know, we got a cage. We got possibly crazy rotors, multiple brakes on each rotor, all these different things, and we can't afford gear for our significant other or loved one. That's going to be the problem that I'm going to have with the situation, is that we're not protecting the people that we care about, okay? So right there is exactly, let me scroll up. Who said that? I forgot who said that. Let's see. Okay, so Sean, he said, kill the engine before picking up by the grips. You guys heard that engine revs? Let's go back. You're going to hear the engine rev. That right there is grabbing the grips, lifting it up, but then twisting the throttle. If that person had it in gear, that bike is going. That bike just took off. And now if it's in the path, if your significant other is in the path of travel, it just hit your significant other. So kill the engine. Just kill it. Joe Hall, he knows what yeah, it's going to pop up, paying off for those extra fries. Yep. So what he's talking about is next week's podcast. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Next week's podcast is really meant for DDFM crew members and above, which is the $5 tier. I accidentally put it up for every patron. So even the $2 patrons get to watch it. I equated that as in like you ordered something from a fast food and you found some fries in your bag. So that's typically not going to happen, but hey, you guys got it. I'm not going to change it. So have at it. So for anybody right now as a patron, doesn't matter what level you are, you're going to get, it shows up in there. You're going to get next week's video. So join up, guys. Become a patron. Let's see. How come it's not notifying on my end? All right, there we go. Just double checking. I wonder if it's not, the alert box is not notifying patrons. It should. So if you become a patron during a stream, it's gonna pop up. Thank you so much, Joe. So right here, it looks like there's like a line down that tire, and I don't know if that means the threads are showing.
Yeah, we're good.
So I think this is just a group of two. So 4 people, you know, two riders, 2 passengers.
Oh.
So we have 2 cruiser riders, 2 touring, you know, well, 1 rider, 1 passenger, touring bike, full on, going crazy. And a lot of sport bike riders say that these big bagger, big touring, these older people don't care. Guys, this right here, look at this. This person pulled over to make sure that these people were okay. you got two different demographics of motorcycle riders. We got stunt riders, and then we got two people that they're not wearing the safest of gear, but they're, you know, they got a 3/4 modular helmet. Looks like they have jackets, but they don't really have footwear and stuff, but they have gloves. But completely different. At the end of the day, guys, it's about, you know, the community, right? At the end of the day, it's about the community. Take care of each other. All right? It doesn't matter. Take care of each other.
Appreciate it, man.
We're going to move on to the next one.
Mount.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Nope. Ah, lucky.
Ah, il a doublé dans le virage.
All right, sorry, I was talking. I forgot during live streams I'm not supposed to talk. So we're gonna rewatch that again. Sorry.
Merde.
So there was you could barely see it.
Merde.
It's gonna be too pixelated for you guys. On my screen, I can barely see it, but there's two riders way ahead. Okay, there's two riders way ahead. Okay. So my assumption, just like yours, let's see. Enigma, that you're definitely right on that. That's what caused it, but the mindset of the rider is kind of like what Dad and Mad said. So both of you guys are correct. So following his friend into the bend. So well, I mean, this rider right here, the one with the camera followed, that's a bad thing. But the reason why the rider that crashed is because he was possibly trying to catch up. And when he's trying to catch up, he wasn't doing enough counter steering and panicked. And not enough body positioning. So we're having problems with that. Dude, Zathras, I would love to support that, man. I would love to support those all the victims over there. It's insane. I'm glad I don't do firefighting anymore, because that's just too much. That sucks over there. Sorry to hear about that, man. So he goes off. Now at this point, this is your friend's or this person, friend or not, this rider that crashed, that's their emergency, guys. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I am absolutely not saying that to be, you know, like, well, screw this guy, he crashed, I didn't crash, haha. No. This is, Scarlett, you understand this, or anybody that's first responders are gonna understand this, is that it's their emergency. That happened to them. If I do this,
Merde.
and I dumped the bike, I joined the emergency. Now there's two people that need help. So originally it's just one. If it's just you and your buddy and he crashed and you did this and now there's two, who's taking care of you and your buddy? So when it comes to this, and you see that happening, complete your turn. Complete it. Complete the turn, slow down when it's straight away. Okay, slow it down, turn around, come back. Do not do what this guy did. Now, it's going to be a natural instinct. So I got to go to my buddy. I got to go to my friend. I got to go save. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to see. I understand that. That's the panic feeling. That's the feeling that you're going to have when it comes to seeing somebody that you care about hurt, or any human, hopefully. You know, hopefully you guys care about other humans. It's going to be the first instinct that I'm going to have. But with my training, it's going to be that first instinct and that first panic for half a second. And then starting from that next second, I'm going to know what I'm going to have to do. Okay? That is just from training. So for me telling you guys, please, 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 have my voice in your head. It's their emergency, not mine. It is their emergency, not mine. From there, you slow down, turn around, park your bike, and then start working on what you need to work on. Okay? Do not do this.
Merde.
What happens if you didn't slow down enough and you slammed into a tree and now you are super tore up?
Il a doublé dans le virage.
So look, he's standing up. I don't know what type of assessment they did, but he's standing up. He's walking wounded. Bike's probably more tore up than the human. And there it is. But if you went off the road and you low-sided and you hit harder, or you hit something weirder or whatever it was, and now you're the one that's super hurt, that's something that could have been prevented. You just destroyed that like button. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Guys, remember, well, first of all, thank you guys for the super chats. I absolutely love it. But remember, we do have a Patreon if you'd like to support the Patreon and see some of the stuff early. Like, if you want to see next week's podcast early, join Patreon. It really does help. Ooh. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Really good physical skills can save you. Really good mental and situational awareness skills will save you. So take that into consideration. Know both, okay? I want you guys to know both. Have really good situational awareness skills, mental skills, and have really good physical skills. So now you have really good tools, okay? So we close that gap. You notice that? Look, so right here, the gap looks about the same. So we're paying attention to our dash, okay? Still good space cushion. Not very good line of sight. So now we're starting to, this person in front of us is starting to slow down. So about right, let me see where his hand is. About right here. You see his finger on the bottom right for the brakes? Okay. So when did he perceive? Right here. So this is when he starts to adjust. Okay, so typically you have about a 1 second perceive to react time. So about right here. Right here is when he perceived that there was a hazard. Right here he perceived it. And you have about a second if you're really good and trained to react. And I think this guy had some pretty good training because he's able to stop in time with good progressive brake pressure. So about right, let's see. Come on. There you go. So he's starting to squeeze. So he's squeezing brake pressure without both hands on the handlebars. He was able to keep it up. Okay, so now he's grabbing that handlebar. And you see how, let's utilize, there we go. Speak, Daniel. Let's utilize this line right here on the bottom as a marker for where his body position is, because once he's slowing down, he's going to shift forward, and that's going to close the gap between this line right here on the bottom and his handlebar risers. Okay, so that right there is that weight transfer. So a little bit more. You see how it's closing? Now it's basically almost in line with the handlebars. So that's his weight transferring. So now he's squeezing harder and harder and harder. And see how he's almost up and over? You see how he's like leaning over almost now? That's because of that weight transfer. And that's how close he is. Look how far up and over he is. He probably almost endoed his bike. See how up and over he is? That's that weight transfer, guys. That's that weight transfer. And this easily could have been something of him flying up and over and going through that rear window. That easily could have happened. So progressive brake pressure saved his butt. He didn't slam that front brake and dump it. He was actually applying the brakes, and he's applying more and more and more and more and more and more and more until he stopped. Luckily, he had enough distance to stop in time. But is this right here? Is this what you guys want? Like, that's how much distance he had to stop, and he did it perfectly. But look how much room for error. Imagine if he saw it half a second later. Half a second later. Maybe he reacted half a second slower. Even with the great progressive brake pressure, all that stuff, he saw it half a second later, he would have ran into this. This is why having that perception is so important. Now, somebody was saying escape path. So there's not much of an escape path. So when you're stuck between medians and big vehicles, this is the problem you're having, is that now you're really only your escape paths are within your lane or with deceleration. So you can increase your space cushion by deceleration. So increase that space cushion. If you hit a curb at whatever speed he was doing, there's more likely you're gonna crash. That looks like a big curb. I definitely don't want to pick a curb over proper space cushion. So definitely have proper space cushion. In this situation, right here, I would be in orange mode because my escape path to the left is compromised. I don't have one. I do have rails, so it's going to be loss of traction if I do any type of crazy swerving. And then definitely at this point, it's like, oh crap. My space cushion to the right is taken. I'm in this bus's blind spot. He could be going over to my lane. I do have an escape path to the left, but it's a left turn arrow. So that means that lane is going to disappear. So in this situation, when I'm in this situation, my focus is on traffic, is on situation awareness. My focus is not on having one hand off. You guys see me ride with one hand off all the time, but I do not ride with one hand off in areas like this. I ride with one hand off in areas where it's a nice long straightaway and there's no traffic, really. I minimize my risk by doing that. So close. Sorry, that's really loud. Yep. Yep. Not much to say about that. Not much to say about that. That is an unexpected freak accident. There's nothing you can do about that. Absolutely nothing you can do about it. It's going to hit and it's going to hurt. But there's nothing you can do about that with the mental and physical skills of evasion. The only thing you can do about that is make sure you wear full gear. Because imagine hitting a bird like that with your face. So that's the best thing I could say.
That was crazy, bro.
You have on your camera?
I have it on my front and my rear.
That was nuts, bro.
It's going to be one of those days.
Have a good one, man.
You too, brother.
Oh, this has music. I'm going to go ahead and mute it. I don't want to get copyright claimed. So I'm going to mute the audio for this next video. Oh, lost traction. Oh, high side. Does it still have music? One second. Let's see where the music ends. Okay, so it's going to be for the whole thing. All right. We're going to watch this one again. We'll watch this one again. This will probably be the last one. So don't leave yet, guys. Don't leave yet, but this will probably be the last one because I do these live streams for 1 hour because I have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. Plus, I take my dogs out around this time. Okay, so he's just picking up the bike. All right. So let's see. So following way too close. If you guys are in a group ride like this, don't get this close. Please don't get this close. If you're in the canyons or if you're in the mountains or you're out in an area where there's a lot of turning and stuff, guys, make sure that we're staying pretty far back. Let that person in front of you have a good line, and then make sure you stand far enough back so you have a good line also. This is where it's really important to have communication systems, because then you're able to communicate that. So have your own line, spread out. Definitely spread out. If you're in a group ride, spread out in these mountain rides. Okay, in a straight like streets and in city traffic, it's okay to be staggered. In this situation, don't be staggered. So right here, you see that little jump? So let's go and watch that part again. I wish there was like a 2-second rewind. You see the jump right there. So there's a little bit of a jump. That right there is that he possibly got too close. He got too close to the person up front, applied the rear brake, and lost traction on that rear tire. Lost a little bit of traction on that rear tire. So that right there is going to be a massive pucker factor. So he lost traction, which really messed up his line. So now he's being pushed onto the outside. And now that he's being pushed on the outside, let's go ahead and scroll back just a little bit. I want you guys to understand that he lost traction, gained it back, okay? So he lost traction, gained it back. That right there, he has full traction again. He has full traction again. You can still save it. You definitely can still save it. Okay, so now we need to roll off the throttle a little bit and do some body positioning and lean into that turn and maintain that turn, because guys, it doesn't matter, we're still traveling. We don't want to travel off the road. We still got to make this turn. This is how he broke his ankle. Ay. So right here, this is gonna turn it. This is a low side, so he applied way too much rear tire in a turn, rear tire braking in a turn. So it's a low side. And then it's going to grab. So right here, it grabbed traction again. You see how it flips him up? It's flipping him up. That's going to be now turned into a high side. So now all the momentum transmits from the bike into you. And it's actually going to launch you forward. And this is very dangerous. Very dangerous. So I don't know if he landed on the rail or into the bushes, but man, very dangerous, because now you have massive impact. So the mechanism of injury is a little bit different with a high side versus a low side. Low side, you're gonna have those initial impacts to that side of the body that fell down, and then you're gonna have more so I saw Mechanical Bull in the chat. More so road rash. Okay, with a high side, you're having massive impacts because you're being launched forward into the ground or into an object, and then you're going to have some tumbling and then some road rash. But low side, it's going to have less impact than a high side, but more road rash. High side is going to have a lot of impact, less road rash, or maybe the same amount of road rash. So at the end of the day, you don't want to have a high side. So, but there's no real thing you can do to prevent having a high side other than proper riding. Okay, so lost traction right there, low side right here. Now it grabbed traction again, turned into a high side. Okay, all right, there it is, boys. Yeah, I never want to get a high side either. But guys, this right here is the Discord. We're going to be ending the stream right now because I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to take my doggos out for a walk, and I'm going to relax, okay? So, guys, if you'd like to become a member of the Discord, please do so. I do have the links to that in the description. If not, if you just want to click a link, it's going to be in the chat right away. I need to update that. We're actually at 2,300 members. 2,300 members. Guys, join the Discord. Look at this. This is live. This is live. Whenever you guys super chat, it shows up. It shows up. HJC I-10, you have no shot. Make sure you double check to make sure it is at minimum ECE or Snell rated. I prefer Snell rated helmets over all that stuff. But just double check to make sure it fits your head appropriately and make sure it's properly rated. There's plenty of helmets out there, man. I actually did a helmet review for new riders. I picked out 3 helmets for new riders with different head sizes, and they're very well rated. You might want to check it out. I have a link in the description that talks about my beginner list, so you might want to check that one out, man. This is live. Let's see. Oh, no gifts. What? I want to do a stream gif. Do I have a favorite? No, no favorites yet. Let's do trending gifs. No, none of these work for me. None of these work for me. Anyways, join the Discord. Click that link and join. There we go. Lunar, are you? That's gonna pop up on my side pretty soon, hopefully. I'll just do this. It's a waterfall. Hi, stream.